Ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of 2018, so we normally do like a really big video where we'll talk for 2 hours or whatever, but instead of doing all that bollocks, and instead of talking about films and TV and all that kind of stuff, because generally people don't care, we're just going to talk about music. So here, in this video, we're going to say our 10 favourite artists of this year.
My first pick for this video is Puma Blue.
I was always afraid to make you stay.
Puma Blue is a weird artist, and that's probably why I like him so much. He manages to blend like lo-fi bedroom jazz with like really atmospheric emotional soul, and the fact that it's really lo-fi and obviously done in like a lo-fi setting is a really big charm to it. Like, it's just really fucking nice to listen to. I saw him at Sound City this year, and it was like a really intimate experience. It was like a really heavy, palpable atmosphere while everyone watched him, and it was just really fucking nice. As well, nobody really does things like this that I know of, or at least if they do, I don't think they're going to do it quite as good as he does, so. My
favourite artist of this year, my number one, probably, I think, is Idols.
So won't you take my hand, sir, and sing with me in time? G-R-E-A-T.
So Idols are probably the only band on this list where really the reason why I like them is entirely down to the fact that they're really fucking good. They released their first album a few years ago, and it had the kind of vibes of the kind of stuff that I like. It's kind of punky, but really the songwriting behind it is really quite indie. It's got that really high energy. It's something that I really like, but the issue with the first album was the songs weren't that good. They weren't that catchy. They weren't, I don't know, there was just something about them that just needed something. Their second album added everything that I wanted. So it's probably my favourite album of the year. It's really good. They're really good live. I got to see them in South by Southwest. And that's my entire justification for liking them, is I like them and they're good.
Okay, my next artist that I'm going to talk about is Talkboy.
Doesn't it seem like everybody is a little absent? You see, the pseudo-intellectual analysis is killing the party. And I guess that is true because the people that surround us are strangers. But I've known them for years, makes me think that maybe it doesn't really matter if you haven't got the answers to slay.
Talkboy are yet another weird band. You're going to notice quite a running theme with my picks for this video. They are an indie band, but they're a weird as fuck indie band. They're really catchy. They write songs that are just fucking, I don't know, how would you...
I mean, it's basically like indie pop, but it's just really well done.
Yeah, but it's not indie pop in the way that, like, your band wearing Hawaiian shirts, playing at a fucking festival with really happy, oh, this girl I love, I really like her, kind of song. It's not any shit like that. It's like really well-written music. They have both male and female lead vocal as well, so that adds a lot to it. Yeah. That adds a lot. I think they're a six-piece as well. Yeah, they're like a fucking six-piece or something. So the male and the female vocal both add a lot of like different perspective into how I, at least, perceive the music. Talkboy are quite a new band. They've literally released 2 singles, and the fact that they have released 2 singles and they've managed to make it into my top 5 artists of the year probably says a lot about them.
I can back up everything just said. They are actually really good, as you've heard. My second artist, which I am gonna take a complete kind of genre shift, is Jade Bird.
Does she wake up, put on makeup in the bathroom, and go to work and stay real late and text you she'll be back soon? Bet her boss runs his fingers round her pretty blonde platinum do. I bet you never thought about that, did you? And it's none of my business, and I don't wanna get involved. If you're thinking that she's good, I think you should be tough. She got you on your knees like a little boy.
Everything about Jade Bird is something that I generally don't like. It's kind of country, it's kind of folk, it's kind of pop. It's all the makings of music that I don't listen to. I listen to little artists from most genres, but country, folk, pop, I really don't. But Jade Bird's just got something about her that just makes it so fucking good. I don't quite know what it is. I think it's just good songs, but there's just something about Jade Bird that makes it really good. I saw her for the first time live, which might have added a little bit of difference because there was an experience to it as opposed to just hearing it. But I keep coming back to her songs. I keep coming back and listening, and it's so catchy, it's so good. She's got a bit of an oomph to her voice, which I think helps because a lot of country and folk stuff don't have their vocalist kind of oomph or belt. She does, which probably helps. It's good. Jade Bird.
Okay, so my next artist is Clea Vincent.
Retiens mon désir, ne laisse pas s'enfuir, ne laisse pas partir dans les vagues de la vie, dans les vagues de la vie.
Clea Vinson is a French artist, so I imagine that is not actually how you're supposed to say her name. I saw her in Korea this year, and she is like the most happy, chirpy, lovable, easygoing French synth pop that you could possibly imagine. I'm not going to describe her anymore because I'll just leave you with that image, but the fact that I saw her live and I was able to see the kind of positive energy and just the sheer happiness of everyone that was watching her, it made me really happy as well, which is quite a hard thing to do, as Lenny will know. But it was just so charming, it was just so nice, the songs are fucking great, well written, they're all in French. Well, I think all the ones I listened to are in French, which I can't really understand them, but that doesn't matter, because the good songs, they're catchy, her voice is like the sweetest thing ever. I've compared her to Courtney Barnett before, who is a Australian artist, and they both have kind of like, not a laziness, but like such a laid back tone to how they sing that it just makes it so likeable.
I'm going to jump on that same kind of thing of making you feel happy, and I'm going to mention that it's called Bash.
I know you mean it, I can see it in your eyes, in your eyes, in your eyes. I know you mean it, I can feel it. You got me feeling so wild, you got me feeling so wild, so wild.
The story behind Bash, I guess, is similar to kind of with Jade Bird. It was an artist that we hadn't heard before, and we were at an event at BBC, which we mentioned recently, and they were going to be playing in our room. We were sharing the room with the UK Music, and UK Music had booked all the bands. We didn't know who they were. They turned up and started playing, and it's, again, kind of the type of music that I don't really listen to. It's kind of pop, but it's really 80s inspired, both of which I don't normally listen to, but these guys are making really cool sounding tracks. It's got that kind of 80s influence without it kind of being held back by a retro sound.
I wouldn't say that it's 80s in the same way that like the 1975's old stuff is 80s. It's not like, it's not pop, I'd say. I think they definitely remain as an indie band, but the influence of like the retroness and like that lovability is still there with them.
It sounds quite quirky, and that's definitely something that they've captured in their imagery and videos and all that kind of stuff, which they should definitely keep doing. Again, like Talkboy, they've only released 2 singles. We heard 3 songs, so there's an extra song, presumably, that they're going to be releasing soon that is going to be coming out. They're really new. They're from down in Southampton, I believe. I don't want to say much more. They're like a really fun band, and they probably deserve your attention.
My next artist is another French band called Holy 2.
Only word of Moses, turn the lights and the chest, left me without any choices, and they gathered them together around on their holy horses. I was born in the south, and then I moved to the east. It's not from my mouth, I think I should have believed. I was born in the south, and then I moved to the east.
This is where I kind of get stumped, because I don't think that anything that I could say in this video would possibly do them justice. When I think of, like, sheer quality in music, this is the band that I would think of. And that's because they managed to... They're a synth band. Well, they're a duo, so... we've got a guy... I think there's a guy and a girl. They both play synth. The guy plays guitar and does, like, all the programming of the drums and stuff. The girl sings. And they write songs that are, like... almost like sci-fi ballady, but at the same time they also write songs that are like deep and dark and powerful and brooding and atmospheric and like the Blade Runner soundtrack with a French singer on the top. So It's pretty fucking cool.
So next, and it's probably another band that I have to kind of attribute to an experience as opposed to actually just liking their music, is Life.
Buy ice packs and breakfast, eat microwave meals. Buy coastals and wontons on 2-for-1 deals. Buy comfort, buy style, buy inflatable sex. Keep hounding your doctor for intestinal checks. Buy green, organic, eat macrobiotic. Watch adverts that tell ya shopping's erotic. Shop savvy, shop smart, try to get the right price. £5 for a whole, one off, freaking for a slice. It's in your hands. It's in your hands. It's in your hands. It's in your hands.
So Life were the artist that when we launched Kicker at the beginning of this year, they were the artist that we worked with to go over to South by Southwest and launch Kicker. We did an event and they headlined it for us. We made a video on Kicker's YouTube channel if you're interested. And like, it was kind of the experience of seeing them live and kind of talking to them and getting to know them that really kind of got me attached to the band, because they haven't really released much this year. They've released one single, but I wouldn't say it's one of their best songs. They released an album that was last year. It got one of Radio 1's Album of the Year awards, and it's like somewhere between punk and pulp ish, would you say?
You're just saying that because he looks like Jarvis Cocker.
But he's got that, I don't know, because I'm talking about from a live experience, it does have that kind of
If any of you have seen a video of Pulp playing live before, Jarvis Cocker, the singer, is, I wouldn't say he's effeminate, but he's very, like, almost delicate and floaty in the way that he moves, and I think Mez, the singer of Life, has that about him too.
He does. And as much as they're kind of writing punky stuff, like, whereas Idols are taking it into this kind of aggression, Life are very much writing kind of catchy, not aggressive tracks. I wouldn't say that they're overly happy or anything like that, but they aren't that kind of aggressive punk. They've just got a little bit of attitude to them, maybe. I would say that if you were going to listen to their album, there's some definite tracks that aren't as good as the others. Like, there's some, like, fucking cool singles, and then, and there's not much in between. So maybe if you were going to listen to Life, pick and choose some songs, because they've got some really good tracks.
Okay, my last band for this video is Superorganism.
When I grow up, I wanna be a superorganism. Come on, give it to me. Put your mind in my brain and you see everything is better when you're everything. Don't let the kids suck you up and fly. So wait for the seed to erupt and be gone.
Superorganism are a band that I can't describe, so I'm not even going to try to. In fact, I am going to try and describe them. They're like a massive synthy, weird fucking group of people that actually formed over the internet, and they all kind of like added their bits into their songs over the internet, and I believe they released like a single before they even met up in person.
I did.
But one thing that everybody can learn from Superorganism is their creativity. I have not seen a band ever be as creative as Superorganism are. Not only do they add weird sound effects and shit into their songs, it's like they've invented a new genre. Yeah. That's why I can't describe it. The closest thing I can say is, no, I'm not going to label it because it's too fucking weird. But it's also too fucking good to just hear me chat shit about it. Please go and listen to them. I didn't like them at first, funnily enough. I thought they were a bit, I don't know, I just didn't like them, and that was probably because I heard them on Radio 6 every fucking day. But they were on Radio 6 every fucking day for a good reason, because they are very good.
Yeah. I'd like to mention those sound effects. Like, you might think sound effects like, oh, foghorn, like air horn, all that kind of shit, but it's not. Like, they're using like a cash register, or live they'll actually replicate stuff where they've got like a can being opened, so they've got like 6 cans because it happens so many times in a song, or an apple being bitten into.
Yeah, they did a live session once where there's like a brief bar gap in one of the songs, and they all took a bite out of an apple at the same moment.
Yeah.
It's just like, who the fuck comes up with that?
They also do some like stripped back live stuff where they'll add more weird, interesting stuff. I believe at South by Southwest, when we went in March, and I'm sad I didn't go and see them if it was, they did a live session around a swimming pool, and they were all kind of splashing their feet in the swimming pool in time, so that was kind of the percussion for the song, was them splashing their feet in that swimming pool, which is pretty cool. I'm going to finish strong, and I'm going to say my last, but not least, favourite artist of the year is Carver Louise. So we talked about Cowboys before. You mentioned them on the bands that deserve to make it. And they're quite hard to describe, not necessarily because they're overly weird or they're not necessarily doing anything completely different, but they're blending kind of heavy rocky indie sounds in ways that I've not really heard before. They're using certain effects that normally you'd either hear used in a really cliche way or it sounds cheesy, and they're not doing either. They've managed to find a way of kind of add like a weird chorusy flanger effect and make it not sound shit, which is rare. I don't know, I don't want to say too much about Cavaliers because I'd rather you just go and listen to them because they're really hard to describe. Live, I've still not seen them live. I've seen videos of them live. I've heard they're very good. You've seen them live. I'm very jealous. So there's something about Calvin Louise that really intrigues me. They've released like 6 singles so far, and all of them have been really fucking good. They've got an album coming out, I believe, like February, March next year. So I'm going to predict it now. That might be my album of the year by next year.
I think it's worth mentioning in this video, I've just thought of it now, that bar Idols for You and Superorganism for me, all of the bands that we've mentioned, or artists, haven't made it yet.
Yeah, they're all really small, not necessarily local, but not quite at that national
And we haven't
level
even
yet.
done this out of intention. We haven't even decided, oh, because we're a channel that wants to help new artists find their feet and do better in the music industry, we're going to give them, like, people to look up to who are in a similar position to them. We haven't even intentionally done that. These are genuinely the artists that we have found and loved this year.
Yeah. I could, I don't think there's a way of sharing it, but my top 100 songs for the year on Spotify, all of these artists in this are in that playlist. And probably most of the other artists in there are also quite small artists. There's something, and a lot of people don't ever find this out, but there's a lot of artists, probably that would be your favourite artists, that are like under 1,000 likes on Facebook. There are so many more cool, interesting artists than the big artists kind of thing.
We said last year that, oh no, like, really groundbreaking music has come out this year. And I can't decide whether that was because we weren't looking hard enough, we weren't subject to situations where we would discover these artists, or maybe it was true, but this year is totally different.
This year has had a fucking ton of amazing music, but none of those artists have kind of broke yet. They haven't got through that thing yet. So I guess it's still true in that there haven't been any massive breakthrough artists that are fucking amazing yet. But we found so many of them that deserve to be that artist next year. So let's hope that at least 5 of these 10 artists next year become massive artists, because they all deserve to. They're all really good. They're all parts of different genres, so they're not even like competing with each other on the most part. And yeah, please, like, not necessarily check out the bands that we've just mentioned. If you're not interested, you're not interested, but I guarantee there are small artists, whether it's in your area or somewhere else, that you will love more than the kind of mainstream bigger artists.
Yeah, it's alright saying, oh, no good music comes out anymore. Yeah, it does.
It really does. And it's probably, a lot of it is actually inspired by the kind of old music that you're referring to not existing anymore, but with like a new twist. It's just they aren't in the charts, so it's harder to find. But please take the effort to find those artists, because as our year's worth of music, I guess, proves, it's really worth it. We've probably had the best year for finding new music this year.
Yeah.
Maybe our situation helped with the fact that we started Kicker and we are working with a vast amount of new artists. Probably helps, whether that's in just mentality or the fact that they're kind of coming to us. I don't know. But there's amazing music out there. That's just 10 of our favourites. Please tell us yours. Like, if you've got like 5 of your top artists for the year, tell us. We might listen to them, because last year we did a live stream that was pretty similar to this, where we're like, oh, let's listen to our favourite music, and then we let you guys kind of suggest music that we should listen to on the live stream, and we listened to an artist called Charlie Bliss with the really high-pitched female singer that kind of sounds like Tommy Pickle singing over like punkish music. I now regularly listen to that artist, so please suggest us more artists, because you made like one of my favourite artists. You told me about them, so give us some recommendations. We might not publicly listen to them, but we will listen to them. So, cool. I hope you've had a really good 2018. If not, 2019 is just around the corner, so you'll be fine. Cool. Right. We'll see you in 2019. There might be some changes that we make throughout the year. There might not be. Thank you for your suggestions last week. I've not told Joe about them yet, so I'll do that so to turn the camera off. Cool. Right. We'll see you in 2019.